I'm not at all saying that it's not a good card. It's a great card. I would give the card an A-, either way an A. You got Tszyu taking on Sebastian Fundora for the WBC and the vacant WBC, weird situation, and the WBO title. You got Roller Romero taking on Issac Cruz for the WBA title at 140 pounds. Lara taking on Zerafa at 160 pounds for the WBA title. Brian Mendoza taking on Sergey Bahachak for the WBC interim title at 154 pounds. Julio Cesar Martinez taking on Angelino Cordova for the WBC flyweight title. Very good, solid card, but is it a $69.99 card here in the States? Now, for Tszyu fans over in Australia and Oceanic territories, yeah, it's a good pay-per-view card for you guys, especially if you guys are paying for the fights that you're paying for over there. And let me tell you something, American fans. Australian boxing fans, they are made to pay for some bullshit over there, for real, for real. They got Nikita Tszyu, a prospect, fighting on pay-per-view over there. No bullshit. I'm TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360. We're not going to be too long-winded here. We're going to briefly go through each of the significant weigh-ins today for the Tszyu versus Fundora card. The weigh-in was about 2 hours or so before I'm recording this video, about 3 hours or so, give or take. And let's start with Sergey Bahachak versus Brian Mendoza for the WBC interim title. I'm interested in this fight because Bahachak, he is one of the new blood of the 154-pound division originally. He was going to fight Sebastian Fundora for that WBC title, but because Keith Thurman got injured, now he's fighting Mendoza. It's just a weird situation because Mendoza was the former WBC champion, interim champion by beating Fundora, but yet that interim champion couldn't be on the line when he fought and lost to Tszyu in Tszyu's last fight. But yet the vacant WBC title, the full title, is on the line for Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora. And Sebastian Fundora lost that. It's just a weird situation. Right now, the WBC has the champion in recess with Jermell Charlo. He'll likely never see 154 pounds again. You got the winner of Tszyu versus Fundora, who's going to be the full WBC champion. That means if Charlo decides to come back to 154, he gets first dibs at the WBC shot. And then you have Mendoza versus Bahachak for the WBC interim, and they're not going to be getting their full title shot no time soon. Maybe not for a year and a half, whoever wins. Bahachak is 23-1 with 23 KOs, Ukrainian, 28 years old. Only loss in his career to Brandon Adams. Weird loss. He got stopped in round number 8 in a fight in which he was winning. Adams was deducted a point for low blows. Bahachak down in round 8. So basically, I remember I saw this fight somewhere, didn't I? I kind of feel like I did. Let me see, what card was this? And let me take a little quick, no, I didn't. Let me take a little quick jump cut, see if I can get you a clip of that fight. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe.
And the cannons.
I found the clip. I don't want to play too much because it's copyright. I don't want to get copywritten. But yeah, this is how he, oh shit. Oh, well, that was ugly. That was when he got knocked out. Damn, Ring City UFC used to be good. It's when he got knocked out back in 2021. But since then, he has racked up some wins, building back up the confidence, and now fighting for the WBC interim. So go ahead. Let's go listen and watch the weigh-in. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.
Victories, 16 by knockout, opposite of 3 defeats.
Oh, no, we can't listen to that music.
By way of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I hate when they do the music in the background. But let me pull up the weights here, tell you exactly who. So Bahachak weighed in at 152.6 and Mendoza 153.2. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. A part of me wants to pick Mendoza, but Bahachak has the pedigree. Let me go look at the rankings. I wonder who would logically be next for the winner. Probably Jesus Ramos, Erickson Lubin. I think that's a logical winner. Charles Conwell, wherever he's been. The top of the WBC right now in the rankings are 1 Conwell, Bahachak number 2, Fundora number 3, Ramos number 4, Lubin number 5, Virgil Ortiz Jr. number 6. Brian Mendoza's number 8. 152.6. We'll watch the face-off, and then we're going to go on to Lara versus Zerafa. Erislandy Lara's got a shitty... He hasn't done nothing since Brian Castaño. Like, talk about a shitty resume, boy. Like, dude. And he's near 41 years old. It seems like he's been around for 30 years. I remember Erislandy Lara's been around since, like, college, man. I was in college when Erislandy Lara fought. Let me see. Carlos Molina. No, not that Molina. I was in college when he fought Paul Williams. Was I? No, I wasn't. Anyway, you get the point. He's been around for a long time. There is Bohachuk, and Mendoza. Let's go watch the next one. So, on to the next fight. Erislandy Lara, 29-3-3 with 17 KOs. He's been relying more on power lately because his legs is not what they used to be. After all, he's getting older. But look at this resume. Ew. And, you know, fighting Mick Zerafa is very questionable at this point in time in his career. Oh, wait, hold on. But yeah, like, you know, let me tell you about these fighters he's fought. And I can understand, like, why he can't get no fights. Fighters don't want to fight him and all that crap. But some of this shit is just, like, despicable. For example, Gary Spike O'Sullivan. Ew. By the way, that was nearly 2 years ago, by the way. 22 months ago. Thomas Lamana, ew. A year before that, he's the new Gary Russell. Once a year, fighter, ew. Gary Spike O'Sullivan, Thomas Lamana, Greg Vendetti, and Canelo's balding brother, Ramon Alvarez. Those are the fights he's had since in the last near 5 years. 5 years, a half a decade nearly. I mean, at this point, I just have to assume that Erislandy Lara is just like phoning it in after the check at this point in time because, you know, to his credit, he's not a guy, let me mute that. To his credit, he's not a guy that people really want to get out there and fight, you know. And by the way, Mick Zerafa, he's been up and down, 31-4 with 19 KOs. We've had him on the channel multiple times. Pretty cool dude. Last fight was a horrible performance against Danilo Creedy, in which he pretty much said he was trying to get rounds. And it's like, no, bro. Like, you're in a knockout streak on the way to a title shot, and you go to a 10 rounds with this Danilo Creedy guy. Big knockout before that against Isaac Hartman. You know, poor old Anthony Mundine got his shit pushed in. But as you can see, pretty up and down. Had these two wars with Jeff Horn. You know, a lot of people thought, you know, he won this Kell Brook fight or it should have been a draw. But these cards, I remember this fight was way out of control for Kell Brook. So this is the chance of a lifetime to go out there and potentially upset a vulnerable Erislandy Lara because of his age, not skill. Do I think he can beat Lara? Not really. I think Lara beats himself in this case. Let's go watch the weigh-in. Oh, by the way, they both weighed in at Lara weighed in at 158.6 and Mick Zerafa 159.8. Also, don't forget that Lara was in talks for over a year to fight Danny Garcia at a catch weight of 155 pounds for that 160 title, but the money wasn't there for the fight. And Mick Zerafa got tired of waiting around because he was supposed to take a step-aside agreement to fight the winner of the fight, but the fight never came to fruition. So what he did was he petitioned the WBA to force this fight. Therefore, that's why he's getting his title shot.
Number one middleweight in the world, please welcome Michael Pretty Boy Zerafa.
Oh, let's mute that. Let's fast forward a little bit.
Opponent is the defending world champion from Miami by way of Guantanamo.
But I'm interested in this fight. These are the type of degenerate fights that get my attention. That get the blood pumping.
The American Dream, Lara.
The Valdez card is on right now. It is 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. March the 29th here. Beautiful Friday evening. Outside of the sunny, violent Philadelphia.
160 pounds is the weight limit. At 31 wins and 4 losses, he has 19 wins.
But Zerafa is no skill, like, or nowhere near the level of Erislandy Lara at all. But Lara's pretty long in the tooth. You know, he's listed at 41 years old. 40 years old.
158 3/4 pounds.
it says on the press release here from the weights that Zerafa weighed in at 159.8, but yet Jimmy Lennon just read a different number. I'm guessing this is probably what the confusion is right here. And Lara's going to weigh in at 158.6. Let me see if it corrects it.
And now his opponent.
Oh, no, it didn't.
29-3 with 17 knockouts. He is the two-division world champion and the defending WBA middleweight champion of the world, Eris Lundy, the American Dream.
Lara, according to his Wikipedia, turns 41 on April 11th, by the way. That's what he's listed at. You know, as you can see here, it says nationality Cuban until 2017, American since 2017. So if you don't know how it goes, there's been heavy speculation over the years that when the Cubans come over here, they get a whole fresh start, age, everything. Social security number, everything. You know, so you can pretty much be any age you want. So guys like Luis Ortiz and Guillermo Rigondeaux, they overdo it a little bit. They'll come over here already 30, and then motherfucking Frank Sanchez, and then tell the officials, you know, yeah, I'm 25. You know, just taking the piss.
Lara.
159.8 for Lara.
9 3/4 pounds, 159 3/4 for the defending world champion.
I mean, he got good genes. He looked good for a 41-year-old man that been around so long. But then again, he only fight once every couple of years now, it seemed like, against super low-level competition. Even some people may consider Zerafa low-level competition, for real, for real. But I'm interested in this fight, though, for real. I like this fight. Oh, why he touch him? Why he touch him? Don't let him do that, Mick.
It's live on Prime, a video of the WBA middleweight championship of the world. Don't miss this action. It is Lundy, the American Dream, Lara defending against the #1 challenger from Melbourne, Australia, Michael.
So let's go look at the division here. Wait, let's go right here. There we go. Jamal Charlo, I don't know what the WBC's lust for him is, but they will not strip him. And he's already told them pretty much, come here and go get your belt. Carlos Adames should be the champion. But it's a very, very weak division, as you can see, as far as like real big names. You got Jinzibek Ali Mahalallah, top ranked fighter. Somewhat of a, he's getting the boogeyman status a little bit. IBF WBO champion. Eris Lara, of course, taking on Mick Zerafa. Carlos Adames. I forgot who they. I heard a rumor on who he's going to be fighting. But if you look, it ain't really nothing there in this division. Ain't nothing there. And I don't see an undisputed champion. I don't even see Eris Lara trying to unify. You know, I don't see it. Like, what is he even in the division for? What is he even boxing for? Like, he's just boxing just to box. I wonder if they'll revisit that Danny Garcia fight if he beats Mick Zerafa. Likely they will, because once PBC starts something, they tend to finish it. I got Eris Lara by decision, but I will not be surprised if Lara gets old overnight and give it to Mick Zerafa. I just got a funny feeling. And don't gamble, don't bet on it, because I'll have you betting on the wrong shit. Let's go on to the next fight. Rolly Romero defending his WB 140-pound title against Issac, legend of the Temple head, Olmec head, Cruz.
Rolando.
Let's see. Rolly weighed in at 139.6 and Issac Cruz 138.8.
We bring our fighters to the scale. Weight limit 140 pounds. Once again,
Let me pull up their box recs here.
Championship of the world. First, we present the challenger.
Rolly 15-1 with 13 KOs. Issac Cruz 25-2-1 with 17 KOs. 25 years old. I hope that music's not playing in the background. It can be copyrighted. Pitbull Cruz, listen, at 5'4", clearly going to be the smaller fighter in there, but he's going to be the more skilled, aggressive fighter in there.
Pitbull Cruz weighs in at 138 3/4 pounds.
138.8. I am glad he didn't get that Tank Davis fight yet, though, because it's like, you know, it was almost like they just was trying to force it down our throats, that rematch. And I don't think he beat Tank Davis. He put on a great fight. Great fight, but he didn't beat Tank Davis, in my opinion.
The first defense of his title. Here is the hard-hitting.
He ain't been fighting nothing but shit either. Gamboa and daughter. Well, Cabrera was a good fight. I like that fight. $139.6 for Rolly.
9.5 pounds, 159.5 pounds.
This is going to be a fun fight. I will not be surprised if Rolly gets slept. He got some power, and the thing about Rolly is he got the moxie. You know, he got a lot of heart, you know, and a lot of confidence. He thinks he's the best in the world. Rolly for life. Sign up for KOs. But as you can see, there's going to be a significant height difference here. And don't be surprised if Rolly rehydrates 20 pounds plus up in there. This is Issac Cruz's first official fight at 135 pounds. I mean, 140 pounds.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Premier Boxing Champions presents live on
This is going to be a fun fight. Really fun fight. I wonder what they're saying. So let's go look at this division here. Let's go take a look at the 140-pound division, which is pretty much all over the place. By the way, news is coming out that Teofimo Lopez is going to be taking on a Steve Clackett. This guy right here. That's the news that's coming out. Jose Ramirez and Arnold Barboza are returning in separate fights. I am not a fan of Arnold Barboza's. Arnold Barboza and Jose Ramirez's management. Not a fan at all. I forgot who he's supposed to be rumored to be fighting. Let me check real quick. Jose Ramirez, who's now with Golden Boy. Let's see who's. Rancis Barthélemy. Ew. I'm sorry. It just upset me. Sabril Matias and Liam Perro is set. Ismael Barroso, we don't know what he's doing after he put O'Hara Davies' dick in the dirt. And Devin Haney, of course, on April the 20th, is taking on Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia and Rolly were in talks. I wonder what's next for Rolly or Issac Cruz if they win. Because now the division is fractured. For example, Devin Haney right now, he's fighting over on Matchroom cards. Rolly Romero and Issac Cruz, both PBC fighters. Sabril Matias is Matchroom. Teofimo Lopez is over on Top Rank. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And of course, Josh Teal and Jack Catterall, you know, Josh Teal still lingering around in the division. Richardson Hitchens is out there, Gary Antoine Russell. So it's a stacked division, but they got to start getting on the move. I'm glad that Ryan Garcia is actually fighting people, you know, actually keeping things moving. But they got to get on the move, especially when it comes to Jose Ramirez and Teofimo Lopez and, you know, Sabril Matias, you know, Liam Perro. I like that fight, but they got to get on the move. And now on to the last fight of the evening, or of the weigh-in. Let me fast forward a little bit.
Here we go. The bout you've all been sponsored by DraftKings. 100 middleweight.
Let's see here. This is Fundora. Fundora is going to weigh in at 152.8, and Tszyu also 152.8. Why are they playing all this copyright music during their event? Let's see here. Fundora is 21-1 with 13 KOs. If he fights tall, man, he would be the man, but he just fights so, you know, the body's going to be there for Tim Tszyu to hit.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the world.
Tim Tszyu is listed at 5'9". I believe they said this is the largest height differential in a 154-pound title fight. It can be in the 154-pound division because Fundora's been there. He's been there. Also, I'm not a fan. 152.8. Terrence Crawford. Well, Errol Spence is supposed to be in the building for fight night. Terrence Crawford. We don't know yet, but Terrence Crawford is the WBO mandatory. And no, like I can't believe that some fans are entertaining him fighting Errol Spence before Terrence Crawford. It's like, what? He's a champion. And if he wins, he'll be a unified champion. Going back to fight Terrence Crawford leftovers, no, I'm not trying to hear it. It's not the move. It's not the move that needs to be made. I'm sorry. He could be fighting Terrence Crawford, or the winner of this fight, let's say, if Tszyu loses, I expect for it to be a rematch clause. A rematch. But if Tszyu wins, then I'm seeing him versus Terrence Crawford in July or August, looking like July. It'll be a 1-year layoff for Terrence Crawford and him moving up to the division. You know, first time ever fighting at 154 pounds, even past like anywhere near 154. So he don't want to make the same mistake Errol Spence made and allow Terrence Crawford to grow into the division. You know, it's best to fight him now and get it over with. But I feel personally that Tszyu's team is not really ready for that defeat yet. Possible defeat. I'm not saying Tszyu can't beat Terrence Crawford, but I'm not picking Tszyu to beat Terrence Crawford. I'm telling you right now, I'm picking Terrence Crawford. That dude's a bad man. And I'm sorry, Tszyu's opponents, don't get me wrong. You know, he been doing his thing, but I just don't see enough right now to be like, yeah, he can beat Terrence Crawford. I just don't see it. And a lot of people surprisingly feel that the Fundora fight is better than the Keith Thurman fight. I guess on paper it is, but Fundora's coming off his last loss. And yes, Thurman has been on a layoff, injury prone, and he's been very vulnerable to the body with his jelly belly. But he's a highly skilled fighter. It's just that his body keeps failing him. Fundora is going to be easy to hit. You know, he fight like, for him to be such a tall, you know, fighter, he fights, you know, like small, which prohibits him, you know, from using the advantages, the height advantages that he has. Doesn't make any sense to me. With that being said, take your time out, like the video, subscribe. We're going to be here tomorrow covering all these fights in the card, and we'll be doing a live stream after the card. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.